Hello and welcome to Think Watercolour. Today's demonstration is this quick sketch of a misty winter morning in the Cheshire countryside. This is another sketch that you can paint along with should you wish to. It doesn't require a lot of pencil work, just a few marks to establish where the key elements are located. Freeze the video here and make your own sketch if you want to paint along. But don't try to copy my marks exactly. Make your own interpretation of what I've done. This is an 11" by 7" piece of Saunders Waterford 300g rough paper, and I'm working flat. So let's begin. I started with some clean water and painted around a circle of dry paper to leave it white for a weak winter sun. And then with a very weak mix of lemon yellow, I painted around that wet area, letting the yellow just blend into the water very loosely. The idea is that this will leave a very soft edge around the white area. If I painted this without wetting the paper first, it would have left a very hard edge around the sun. For the sky, I used a very weak mix of lavender with a touch of imperial purple, and just let it blend into the yellow while the paper's still wet. The idea is to have a very weak wintry sky seen through a morning mist, really. So keeping it simple. You can see the paper's very wet here from this angle. Just adding a little bit of water towards the bottom of the sky. And adding a little bit more pigment to the top of the sky. For the far edge of the foreground field, I used a very weak mix of raw sienna just to establish the edge of the field. And just let that pigment settle a little bit. Then with a clean paper towel, I lifted out the bottom of the sky and some of the edge of the field, just to create this idea of a sort of a misty effect in the landscape. Painting these areas first and then lifting out leaves a tiny amount of pigment on the page just to suggest what's there. Here I'm just scumbling in with the side of a rigger, the tops of those trees that are just poking above the low morning mist. And I'm just adding some of the tree trunks as well. This is all going to dry much lighter, and I'm going to very quickly dry it with a hairdryer once I've done this. As you can see, it's dried much lighter. Now I'm using a rigger just to paint in the fence line with some sepia, a fairly weak mix. And again, I'm going to lift that out with the paper towel, and it just softens it so that it's still there, but it's in the background. You know, you've put pigment on and it's stayed on the paper, and lifting out some of the pigment just leaves that sort of misty look in the distance. Again, I've given it a quick blast with a hairdryer to dry the fence line. And now I've mixed up some bandite brown, quite a thick mix, for a very dark mix for the tree trunks and the branches of the foreground trees. Starting off with a number 2 brush just to put the main branches and tree trunks in, and then I'll add some of the thinner branches with a rigger in a second. In front of these trees there's a track leading up to the distant gate in the fence, and there are some puddles right in front of the trees, so I'm mindful to put the reflection in those puddles. Even though I'm painting all the way across the track, there is a ridge along the middle of the track that's quite muddy, so I'm going to just paint over those reflections in that part, but I'll do that in a second. I've now got a rigger and I'm doing the thinner branches of the trees. Again, the trick is not to go over the top, don't try and paint every branch, just suggest what's there. The viewer's eye will do the rest. Just keep it fluid, let the brush do the work. The riggers are great for doing these branches. They're very springy brushes, and you can get some nice jagged joints in the branches. Here you can see I've started adding detail to the ruts in the track, and the ruts in the field, and the puddles in the field as well. This is raw sienna, darker towards the foreground and getting lighter as you get further away, disappearing into the mist. Keeping these foreground details sharp just adds to the depth of the painting and creates this misty feeling in the distance. For these foreground details, I'm using the side of a rigger just to pick up the texture of the paper and create some areas where there's clumps of dark soil and light soil, and just making sure I leave some space for the puddles in the field as well, leaving the white of the paper to do the reflection of the sky. It's a very weak sky, so it would look quite white. Still using the same colours. It's basically Van Dyke Brown and raw sienna, and letting the two colours mix on the page while they're wet, just to create a variety of tonal values. Just making sure I just put an edge to the puddles where it's against the background light. Again, as I said before, just keeping all the detail in the foreground. The bases of these foreground trees are absolutely covered in ivy, and I've just mixed up some sap green with a touch of jadeite green for the ivy, just using a detail brush just to dot in some of the leaves and just indicate where the ivy is, not forgetting the reflection. Again, the trick is not to go over the top, just to indicate what's there. Just darkening some of the leaves a little bit, they were a bit weak. Here I'm just using the side of a number 3 brush, I think it is, yes, number 3 brush, just to indicate the thinner branches at the top of those trees, just a hint of what's there, just against the backlight of the misty sky. And the same with those trees, just jutting up above the mist, just adding a little bit more colour to them. They're a little bit weak, but and then dabbing out. Much as I said before, if you put the pigment on, then dab off, you still leave pigment there, but it lightens the tone for you. And here I'm just adding some burnt sienna to the hedge on the far side of the track, and it just creates some harmony in the painting, because the burnt siennas are complementary to the green, so the two colours work really well together. I'm just adding some on the left side of the track as well. Just darkening the trunks of the trees, just sticking up above the mist in the distance, and I'll then dab them out again, just to bring them out a little bit. They were just disappearing too much into the mist. Just adding a little bit of water, just lifting a bit more out. Just trying to get it right. I think I've got the balance right now. Just realised I've missed a little bit of the ivy in the reflection on those trees in the puddles, so just adding that, just a few finishing touches really. And I decided that the trees just needed one more branch at the base on the left. I think it just needed a little bit more balance. Trying not to go over the top with branches. And I think I'm pretty much finished, so thank you so much for watching. If you painted along, I hope you found this instructive and helpful. There are lots of ways of painting mist. This is just one of them. You could just paint the trees and not lift out, but I always find that it just helps to add to that softening of the values. Thank you so much for watching. If you did find this video useful, do give it a like. It really helps with YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, do subscribe and hit the notification bell for future videos. I do try to post once a week. I've been a bit lax this last couple of weeks. I've been very busy. And once again, thanks for watching.